Welcome back to Himeyama for another casted game. Are you ready for the action? Because I am. On the west side in the blue we have Jana as the Japanese, and on the east side in the red we have YH, or just Y, as the, or yeah, as the Chinese. So this is going to be a really interesting match, and Jana sent this one over to me, and if you want to be awesome just like him and get your games casted, make sure you check out the information in the description where you'll be able to submit all of your game details. And there we go, Jana picking up a nice little pickup of a couple of sheep there. And we can see from the minimap he's gone for double scout, so this is going to mean hopefully that he can get the lion's share, but sending both your scouts the same way, that's definitely not, oh poor guy, see you later, hopefully your other scout can get that one. So if you're going double scouts, usually you want to send them in two opposite directions, because like this scout is denying here, he's now going to go over onto this side. So if we take a look at Ye's side, then he's going to be able now to go and basically secure up all of this north side without much contestation. So hopefully he's going to get some sheep there. And if we take a look at his base, he's going for classic Chinese things: sheep on the mill, villagers on the berries, and gold over by the village. So a little bit sort of open in between, but just going between these so that he can garrison them if he's getting aggressed by Jana. So getting a few sheep around his base there. Ye's got a few, and if we flick over to Jana now, he's got 5 on that bottom side, and he's getting some at the top. And lucky for him, Ye did actually go back to his base. Oh my god, what's this web of rally points? I like the rally points, Jana. It's definitely good to use them. There we go. So he's getting actually quite a lot of sheep there. He's gone for the Tawara upgrade, so he's got 1 villager on the berries, he's got the farmhouse there, and he'll be able to shift these guys over when he needs to. Thinking about this matchup then, I imagine we're going to be seeing a fast castle from Jana. For the Japanese, it's a pretty strong play because they get that massive eco boost from the floating gate and the Yoroshiros, which you can put in production buildings and then pump out units really, really quickly, which is often the disadvantage of going fast castle because you normally have to wait for the resources and then get the units. So for a while, you're in a bit of a sticky situation if someone is really trying to push you. But as long as there's not a ton of units and rams in your base, getting a couple of mounted samurai out usually will solve most of your problems. So we can see the villagers, as predicted, have gone over to the berries, and we're going to be seeing probably about a 3-minute age up from him. If we take a look over at Ye's side, we can see actually that he's quite shy on the food. So maybe he's got an absolute ton of villagers queued up. Oh mate. So how many, if we go on to his side, how many has he actually got queued? 1, 2, 3. He's got 7. Wowzers. So that's actually probably enough. If he takes a couple of these out, he'd probably have enough to age up like right now. So this is actually going to give Jana a lot of breathing room. So at the beginning of the game, you don't want to miss villagers, like somebody we know might have been doing that recently, but we're not going to look at those now. But yeah, there we go, shifting those down because that's where you want to get those resources. And especially as the Chinese, they tend to go for the Song dynasty. You want to be building one of the landmarks, usually with 1 villager like this, and then you want to be getting the Barbican a little bit later. Then you can go for the Chuganu, and you get that production bonus on your villagers. So this Imperial Academy is in an okay spot. It's going to get the mill, it's also going to get the wood here, but it's not going to get the gold. So I don't know whether actually it would have been better a lot closer to the mill here, and the aura potentially would have got to here or even there, because you're going to be mining that gold for a while. We've got the Korra storehouse, and on this map the wood lines are quite a bit more exposed, but I think a back storehouse here is the good move from Jana, and he's going to be able to get loads of nice farms around there. He's also going to be able to gather from the wood, and I just absolutely love these animations. I think a lot of people don't get to admire them when they're playing because we're just managing to keep the game going. So I absolutely love stuff like this when I'm casting it. We can also see that Jana's gone on to some wood, so whether we're going to be seeing some production drop down, but we've got quite a lot of gold in the bank, so this does look like we're probably going to be seeing maybe a tower, possibly, to defend this in case the Chinese come, and the Barbican. Let's take a look. So oh, a very defensive Barbican. I'm not sure about this one. It's not really securing a huge amount. vaguely securing this gold, but some ranged units could just sit outside the range there and get you off that, or even a tower. This one does actually secure that, but again, ranged units will be able to sit there. So he could have gone for a super aggressive one. He actually could have maybe even dropped it on this deer pack if he was being super greedy. But I think actually, if you're not going to be super greedy, actually dropping it at the front of your base here, right on that gold, would basically block in all of these. Then you've got the TC covering that. But, you know, each to their own, horses to courses and barbicans to Chinese players. Now, if we take a look, Janna's still got the 4 on gold, and they are slowly working their way towards that castle age now. Chorus Storehouse dropped down, that farm immediately popping out, and this is such huge value. I think a lot of people don't realise. The Japanese economy isn't the strongest in the game, but especially when you get that daimyo, these early farms can make a huge difference. And it's also something to target because it's free resources. So if you take that away from the Japanese player and you burn these farms, that's actually really, really good. Good damage, less food, it's all good stuff, basically. So an absolute ton of sheep coming home. We've got 15 there. Wow, he's really got the lion's share of the sheep, or the wolf's share, should we say. And are we going to see an MVP wolf today? I'm not sure, but let's hope. Fingers crossed. We always like to see one of those in our games, and Janna's games especially often have an MVP wolf causing some chaos. We've got an archery range drop down for Yeah. So I imagine when we're going to be seeing some Juggernaut, because it's one of the best Chinese units at this stage in the game. Because of that fire rate, they really shred everything once they get those numbers, and once you've got your Imperial officials, you can supervise them and pop them out at crazy speed. Even now they're 15 seconds, which is very, very fast. So we do see that he's got a load of Imperial officials. It looks like we've got 3 so far, and I think the limit is 4, if I remember correctly. So it does look like he can make another one, and really he could be supervising this archery range, which at the moment is sitting idle. So whether he has plans for this, we're not sure. He could also be doing this gold. So looks like he's scouted Janna going for a fast castle and decided to go for one himself. And so yeah, he's going out on the deer and going to tower that to try and do that. This is risky business. If those mounted samurai come round, one little tower is probably not going to stop you losing a couple of these guys as they run between. But we'll have to see what Janna has in store. Both of his scouts escorting, because 1 is the loneliest number and 2 is much, much better. So those scouts are doing that. I definitely think you want to be splitting these, mates, so you can see more of the map. And even one thing that I think is really nice you can do, if you hold shift, you choose a location and then you press V, you can actually use that stand ground command on the shift key, which I found out recently. So if you sent them over here, you can move, shift, and then V, and they'll sit outside there in a nice defensible position. So Japanese towers, Chinese towers coming down there to defend the villagers going idle as they are waiting for instructions. Come on, guys, get that wood, drop off all those resources. Come on, there we go, sleepy boys, back to work. And we've got a couple of defensive Juggernaut, but this is really, these are not very good against armoured units. Even feudal armoured units can really tank a huge amount of damage from these guys, and it's all about the mass. But as soon as Janna hits castle, if he goes for any of those castle age units, he's going to be able to really take these out very, very quickly, because they don't have a huge amount of health. And as we speak, Janna is literally just about to tap up. So if we take a look at his base, I imagine we're going to be seeing the floating gate, because that is arguably the best the best landmark. Wow, my words are all over the place today, and I'm just so excited for this match. And we can see a stable's down, so it looks like it's going to be going for the classic mounted samurai. But look at these guys, very expensive, but that 35 seconds really is going to drop down. And we've got a barracks. The Japanese infantry, very, very strong. So this is going to work definitely in his favour. The Chinese going for textiles, which I think is a good move, knowing that some heavy units are going to be coming very swiftly. 7 on the age up, so it's going to take a little while to get there, but Janna's going to be able to build up some of those resources in the bank while he goes for his daimyo. This is very good timing. That means that he's also going to be able to take advantage of the bannerman. So if he gets the Uma bannerman, which gives you a 15% increase to attack, and the mounted samurai, they can run around and cause a huge amount of damage. So the villagers out on the berries and the scout getting caught. Is he going to go down? Not quite. But Good call there from Janna, pulling away just as the Chuganu come in, and if we take a look from his vision, he can see them with that tower, so needs to get these villagers out, doesn't want to get them caught by those Chuganu, but he doesn't quite have enough there to do it. Both of the scouts gone down for Janna now, so his vision is going to be very, very limited, but you don't want to be idling your eco like this. The tower's great, but 10 villagers idled to try and hurt some of these Chuganu, definitely not the best call, and you want, don't let them do damage. So this is where the Chinese player definitely, should definitely be attacking this tower, because then, there we go. So the more damage you can do, either you lose the resources completely, or you get a reduced amount, so that's going to be good for him and bad for Janna. We can see the Yorishiro is down, and he is running to deliver that box to the stables, and the villagers rush that up. So now they're trying to find some more berries to go for, and it looks like, oh no, the Yorishiro, come on, drop it off, mate. We know where you want to go. It's right here. Come on, the horse is waiting. Let's go. Okay, he's having a bit of a break, but Janna's being... This is a really aggressive gold mine. I like it, but guess who it is? He's coming for you. Let's go. MVP Wolf on the prowl. Is he going to get a villager? This is the most exciting part of the game. What's going to happen? Is Janna going to notice? Are they going to get it? They are. There we go. No lunch for you today, sir. Let's see. So this Yorishiro definitely needs to be going in. Uma Bannerman out, but we want to be seeing that speed boost because that's where you get it, and then you can get the relics. Let's take a look at Ye's base while he's all doing a little poke. One villager down on these farms. Oh, so this is where Janna's going to have to be really careful. He does have the Bannerman, which would be able to clean these guys up very, very easily. So he needs to be using it. Come on, send him out. He's basically a knight. If we look at his damage, 22, and he's got a lot of armor. So he would deal with these guys no problem, especially with that deflect as well. So I'm not sure what this Yorishiro is doing, but I'm really sad to see him holding that box, that golden box of doom. Let's take a look at Ye's base. So he's actually getting all of that deer very, very early. So this is really boosting his eco, and he's actually getting up. And it looks like he's going to be going for the next dynasty because he's floating a lot of food. So he could have probably got up a little bit earlier, but really rushing this up. 15 villagers for the Chinese is huge because of that increased build speed. So he's going to be able to get out those nest of bees and those improved siege. So Janna's going to have to be super careful. And he's now going to lose that tech advantage from being in the castle age. So these mounted units need to be doing some damage while they're still more powerful. Nest of bees immediately in queue for and the Chuganu just sitting outside the base. Are they going to get another pick off? That's going to be another villager down, and that's how quickly they can shred them, even just 4 of those. And there we go, we're going to respond, and the Yorishiros have been put down. So it looks like Janna is now out on the map trying to get some of those relics, so that's going to be good. But look how quickly these Chuganu go down. If we zoom out there, we can see as they get chased, just 3 hits and they're down. That's going to be the end of them. And look how awesome this Uma Bannerman is. I don't play the Japanese, but even just this guy makes me want to, because he just looks insanely cool. Let's zoom out now. So if we look at the eco, let's switch over to income per minute, and we can compare how both of these players are doing. So does have a lot more villagers, but if we see the eco isn't quite matching up to that, and he's floating a huge amount of food. So I really hope he's not going to go for that dynasty. That's going to make it very, very dangerous for him. If Janna starts using these cavalry, then they're going to be in real trouble. These guys need to be raiding. There's a lot of damage that can be found. One of them is over at the base. He needs to be stopping these walls going up, because I think Ye's got the right idea. Stopping those raids and containing everything under the super strong gunpowder and barbican, that's going to be really, really good for him. We've got one nest of bees hiding in the base, and all of Janna's villagers are now starting to move out on the map, getting berries. He's also getting this gold, and no towers. So if any units find these guys, they are going to be in real trouble. There is a lumber camp over here for some reason, just a proxy lumber camp, just for for a rainy day. There is a relic down in the base. Janna doesn't quite have the wood for it yet, so he doesn't have a monastery. Got to make sure we remember to pick that one up and put it away, because that's a lot of gold per minute. We can also see there's no rally point on the stables. Definitely want to be sending that out, but I'm really happy to see that these guys are now out on the charge. Crossbows coming in. This is Janna's going to have to be really careful. If these crossbows can get out, is it being supervised? Doesn't look like it. 9 seconds. Okay, it is supervised now. So the amount of crossbows that are going to come out is going to be huge. So these guys need to get in the base as quickly as possible. They're running away very, very far at this stage. They need to be diving in here and getting all of these guys while they have the superiority. We can see on the top side that the Shinto priest is running straight past that tower that does have an emplacement. If he runs straight through there again, I don't think he's going to make it home. So hopefully that's rallied up correctly. There's so we've got 1 relic in the base, 2 in hand, and 2 more on the top side over here. So it looks like Janna's going to get the lion's share of all of those, with another Shinto priest coming out, being chased by MVP Walt number 2, trying to get his lunch. These mounted samurai sitting at the block, damaging that wall. This is where now the defense from Ye is starting to come in. He's going to have more of these crossbows, and even with the deflect armor, these guys are not going to last forever. We take a look at the base. We've got a lot of units here by the production. These need to have a rally point. I'd definitely be sending them over here to in front of the base, ready to attack. And another TC going down for Ye. Oof. So this is where maybe the Chinese eco is going to start to pay off with that Song Dynasty, increased villager production already, and then the second TC. It does look like Ye might have been idling his TC a little bit, because he should be further ahead than Janna at this stage with the Vil kills, but I'm sure there is a reason. So mounted samurai back out on the map, and they are just circling around different resources to see what's going on. If we take a little look at the Chinese units, we've got a load of crossbows and shuganus in the base, we've got some spears, we've got a little bit of everything, and we've got 1 nest of bees that's just chilling. So China's doing turtle things and trying to stay up, little mini walls all over the place. Now this actually is dangerous for Ye, because if Janna charges in here and these villagers try to run away, they're going to get pinned inside this little box. So I really hope this is a nice defense and doesn't become a death box for him. We can see that the mounted samurai have found that tower, so they are trying to do a bit of damage, but running away before they get hit by those gunpowder shots, because it is doing a good amount of damage to them. Villagers idle and a proxy barracks, as Janna loves to do, but he's going to have to be really careful. The Chinese forces are coming in, and this is where those villagers are going to be in danger. If Ye pushes now and he's going to go for the burn, the mounted samurai running away. Oh no, what's going to happen? Are the villagers going to get taken out by the Chuganu? Oh, they're targeting the building. Oh no. So now if the mounted samurai can make it round, and what's happening? Oh, they're just retreating. They're just abandoning the base. So this Yorishiro, if they delete that building, it is going to go down. But another one will pop out from the landmark. So it's really just the cost of the building at this stage and a slowdown on the passive income. But Janna was going for an Imperial Age. Of course he was. So now we've got 3 of the relics at home, no monastery yet, definitely want to get one of those down, and the villagers sprawling all over the base, reassigning, finding where they need to go to get ready for this Imperial Age push. And I imagine we're going to be seeing the Ozutsu coming around. There we go, dropping those off. So that's going to be his gold income increasing even more. And at this stage, even with the 2 TC, Janna's keeping up with villager production, and at this stage that's making the biggest difference to what's going on, because if you have 2 TC, it doesn't matter if you're not producing villagers. So it's definitely one of those things to remember. All of those buildings have been taken out, so another Yorishiro will be coming out from here. We can see in another 100 seconds, and then that can be put in another safe building, maybe a house for some food, or another forge, which Janna can basically just drop wherever he wants. We have got 1 relic sitting here. I really hope that gets put away for that extra gold per minute, while the Shinto priests run back and forth healing up of these villagers. We can see 1 Onobageisha sitting ready for slaughter by the Chinese forces as they sit there, but now they're going to see that ping, and this is when these guys need to push. If you see your opponent age up, you need to be really careful, because that's where you are going to see Imperial Age units, and if you give them long enough, that's where the tech advantage is really going to pay off. Another 2 relics in hand, all 5 going to Janna, and 1 lone palace guard is going to be taking out some of these villagers, but I'd be really scared of these forces at the top. But oh, and there's another palace guard there trying to do some damage, but mounted samurai catching them, and they are going to be able to stop at the bottom as well. With that tower from earlier coming in clutch for those villagers, 4 of them still surviving. But this is where these Oh, these units are going so slowly. They're grouped with the ram. They're moving at siege speed. Oh no, this is terrible. And we can see a lot of resources now for Janna, and these guys are idle. We need to send them somewhere. I hope that they go to some food, because there's food idle here, food idle here. We definitely need to be dropping some farms and putting all of these relics away, because we've got 2 more that need to go into this Shinto shrine. We've also got the upgrades for the Yodoshiro, so you can get extra ones and increased healing and stuff like that. But there we go. The relic is going away as Janna is sitting, preparing to build up his forces. If we take a little look at the Chinese, they are running around the bottom of the base, trying to find some damage, and the villagers have gone back. Oh no, Janna, why? That cool little Japanese house isn't going to last long, and neither of those villagers. They definitely needed to pull back. Once your opponent knows where they are, that's just easy picking. 7 villagers total down now for Janna, but luckily, yeah, is idling his TCs. I'm pretty sure this one isn't even producing, so it's lucky for him that these resources spent aren't actually going on anything in particular at the moment. He is Imperial Age, so yeah, he's going to be scared of that, and he is producing more units, and this is where Janna needs to take advantage of that. He's got a lot of units here, and he needs to start attacking, because even those 50 units can still do quite a bit of damage if they are not stopped. There we go. We got the Bannerman running in, and we can see... Please don't tell me you're going to do a Wallalol. I can hear a relic. Oh, there we go. He's just putting the relic away. I know the kind of shenanigans that Janna likes to pull. So, oh, the spear's catching those mounted samurai there, and then the samurai and Honorable Geisha are going in, but they're not A-moved. Oh, no. So they just ran past those first spears, and there is a Shinto priest there as well. But they have caught those Chuganu on the back, and they are Imperial Age now. We'll check in a second whether he has the Imperial Age text, because it doesn't matter if you go Imperial Age if your Castle Age units don't get their upgrade. And with all that gold that he has in the bank, I hope we can see that. So this is where the mounted samurai need to be getting their elite upgrades, and these guys do. So the infantry does, and but with all those mounted samurai in the army, we need to be using them at their strongest. We can see that we've got a load of tickets for the Adzutsu, so we definitely want to be using those. We could get 8 of those guys to pump out and start knocking out buildings all over the place. University coming in, which is really nice, going to be using up some of this gold for some of those upgrades. And villagers back out on that gold again. Janna, super risky business. I know you like to live on the edge, but these Chinese spears are going to be catching you. And it looks like, yeah, it's slowly trying to work his way to the Imperial Age as well, burning down this tower with those villagers. But we definitely, if we're going to be going back on this gold, I really hope we see some towers over here soon. And another proxy barracks, because when you don't have enough barracks at home, you build them out on a super exposed gold vein. So this is where, if we take a look at the base, has the farm transition started? Little bit at the back, there we go. So that's starting there, and another town centre. Really? 3 town centres? And this one still isn't producing. I think Ye's not got his hotkeys set up correctly. So for me, when I press my hotkey button, if we go to his perspective, I will pick up all 3 of those TCs in one go. So they are rallied, but only one of them is producing, which means that you're not getting any benefit from them. So I really hope that Ye can start using those. Imperial Palace going down, and Janna has definitely given him the breathing room now to get to Imperial Age, so I really hope he can do that. A couple of Palace Guards are going to find these guys on deer. Are they going to catch them? They are. Oh no. More villagers going down, not protected by towers or units, and the Palace Guard are very quick, so there's no way these guys are going to be able to run away. Taking that venison home for dinner, but I'm sorry, I don't think you're going to be making it. And even more priests coming out for healing. The mounted samurai going in for the charge, but some of the villagers that have gone down, it's already a little bit too late. We can see more siege now. Have we got the Adzutsu? Yeah, they've started to come out. In the Imperial Age techs are coming through. The mounted samurai still don't have their upgrades, so definitely want to be going those. Only 6 though, so Janna's probably not planning on making any more, and he's going for a mass infantry comp instead, which for the Japanese is a pretty strong move. Here we go, fight on the top side. The Chuganu, these units are not going to do it. Chuganu are absolutely terrible. And let me just check I'm not mismatching the things. No, they are crossbows. There we go. They're not Chuganu. It's really hard with the Chinese units to actually tell them apart. I always struggle. And we've got a Rebolda Of course we do. And a Japanese keep in the Imperial Age. I'm not sure I'd be wasting resources on a keep to defend 52 gold, but you know, each to their own. And also we can see that Ye's moved out onto this top gold. He's hoovered up all the gold at his base, and so he's moved out here. If these guys get caught, that's a third of his resources, a third of his eco. So if Janna can catch those with his military that's just sitting over here, then Ye would be in serious trouble. The food eco for Janna is starting to lag a little bit. He's got a lot in the bank, so we definitely want to be spending that as much as we possibly can. The Ozutsu tickets have been used, so we can see there. Let's switch over. How many tickets have we got? We've got 3 tickets, so we should be seeing a few more of those coming out, and the Imperial Age techs are coming through for chemistry, and the infantry tech is in as well. Let's take a little look at the pings. There's Chinese towers going around so that Ye can see what's going on, and they're walling up this gold vein. So they've got gold, they've got stone. They're probably going to drop some keeps or towers to try and defend this position. So that's going to keep him going for a little while longer. If we take a little look at his base, he shouldn't have too... So there's a lot of taxes here. So does he have the upgrade? He's getting it now. So this is a little bit late for that upgrade to give you 80 pickup per, but he definitely wants to have one of his Imperial officials running around collecting resources, because all of these buildings, look at that, 300 gold, 340 gold, 126. All of these are going to have taxes as well from producing. So this is where you really want to be using them. Like, for example, 170. There's probably 1,000 gold just in the center of his base now. Sacred Site has been taken by Janna on the top, and more units are spilling out to Proxy Town by the castle that's getting its emplacements and its upgrades. More stone being collected at this point. Shall we check out the base? We're only on Daimyo level 2, so we might be seeing the Shogunate Castle coming in at some stage. But the villagers rallied out to this wood line. Definitely need to change that. And these guys... Oh no, we've all been there, accidentally building a forge next to a wood line. Oh, it's the worst feeling. Janna, I feel your pain. If we take a little look, there's an absolute ton of lumber camps down here. I'm not sure why you'd need 4. I think Ye's playing in AI mode at this stage and filling up the wood lines every single free space, but it's better than long distance gathering, so I appreciate the effort. And we can take a look. The farm transition is fully set up on the back. Are they producing? There we go. So we've got 1, 2 of the 3 town centres producing now, and the eco numbers are definitely starting to move steadily in his favour. Both players nowhere near the 200 pop cap yet, which at Imperial Age you would usually see much earlier than this, but they're still trying to build up their food eco. A defensive keep coming up for as he moves out onto the front gold as well. So if Janna can spot out any of these gold veins, he's going to be able to do a huge amount of damage. The 69 units, 70 units now pumping out and sitting here. We definitely want to be using these because we've got a lot of springles ready for the nest of bees. Only 2 at the moment, but we do see some clockwork springles coming in, so he definitely is going to need more than those, or he's going to have to be able to charge them quite heavily. We can see some more Palace Guard running out to find some damage, and Janna is on exposed resources again down here. No towers and walls. This is very, very bold play from him. I definitely think some walls, maybe a wall from here up to this gold or up to the stone to block off this side, and then over here I'd definitely be doing a wall all the way from here, all the way across there, and then at least the sort of center of your base is secure. Walling up the front's a little bit more tricky, but there aren't many units at home, and these guys are going to be able to run under that TC fire pretty well. So his farm villagers are definitely going to have to be very, very careful that they don't take too much damage. Where's the raid coming in? On that gold vein. Oh dear. So more of these villagers going down. And does Janna have textiles? He doesn't. So those villagers are going to go down very, very quickly. Speedy Palace Guards running in and getting at least a couple more kills. 17 taken down now. And this is the problem with going out on those exposed resources without towers or defenses. So we've got some mounted samurai coming home to defend, while there are more units coming in, and we can see some fire lancers as well. And this is where we might see a bit of a fire lancer snipe. If you can get enough of those, then your buildings are going to be in real danger. A lot of gold in the bank for Janna, so I really hope we've got all of our eco techs. Definitely want to be getting these, mate, because that's going to really boost your eco, as well as all of your blacksmith ones. You could be getting your extra ranged and the extra melee as well. So palace guards in the wood line, 18 villagers. Oh no, look at these guys, they're flopping like crazy. So there's a couple on the front, there's palace guards burning that on the side, and then there's a couple of these fire lancers and horses running away at the top. But I don't think Janna's noticed on the wood line. 22, 23, and there we go. Oh no, don't do the villager pull. Oh, villagers versus palace guard. Who's going to win? We're going to have to wait and see. Oh dear, I don't think this is going well. Shinto Priest doing his best to heal up the villagers as they take on the palace guards. And one of them is circling round and... oh no, they're target the low health one. Quick, he's only got 9. It's 5. Quick. Oh dear, these villagers going down 29 now. Definitely want to just rally some of that production over here to defend them. More villagers coming over to become sacrificial lands to the palace guard as he tanks an absolute ton of damage. He's also in the Yuan dynasty. That means they move 15% faster, so they are even faster than usual. Those villagers taking out that final palace guard, but 31 villagers down. I'm not sure it's worth it with another batch coming in, so Janna's going to have to be super careful of that. And a Lancer's catching all of these wood villagers as well. Oh no. These villager kills for Janna are going up and up and up. He's down to 48 against 100 villagers. This is really going to be hurting his eco, especially when that Lancer is right next to his huge force over here. These units need to start going around. There we go. So the Springald's are actually working down that. Age of Springald's might not be over after all, but these units definitely need to be pushing into the base now, because these 100 villagers are going to be able to do a huge amount of resource gathering, and it's going to really put Janna on the back foot. And getting some more production down, I think, is definitely going to help fill up these resources, because we've got a lot of resources in the bank and we've got 4 barracks. I definitely think a couple more of those would not hurt at all. We've got some more fire lancers, some lancers on the front causing some havoc, and we've got these on the back. 38 villagers down now for Janna. A tower going up on the back for Ye. He's really trying to put as much pressure as he can on Janna's base, but these units just sitting there watching as this gold is done. Can he actually see it on his mini-map? If we take a look at his vision, it's just outside of range, and they're doing that as the palace guard are in the base, and they're really idling that economy. 40 villagers down so far, and the TC is doing a huge amount to defend, but the spears and palace guards are keeping Janna off all of those resources really, really well. So hopefully we're going to see a big push. Here we go. The Japanese force is moving out. We've got Springald's, we've got Mangonels, we've got Reboldaquins, we've got a bit of everything, and we've also got a load of Shinto priests there ready to heal up. I can't actually believe how close these bases are. It's absolutely insane, but look how quickly those buildings are taken out. The Mangonels, if they can catch these Chinese forces, they're going to be able to take those out very, very swiftly. Nest of bees nowhere to be seen. There's 3 nest of bees, 2 Springalds in queue, and the Japanese infantry is just flooding into Ye's base. This is absolute carnage for him, and he's definitely waited too long before pushing out and doing damage. I think the nest of bees there coming in, Springald's moving forward to try and take them, Lancer's taking out the towers, and there's a Zutsu sitting here as well, and these guys can absolutely demolish anything. So these landmarks are not going to wait very long before they go down. Samurai going for the nest of bees on the back as the Barbican is taken out by that siege and those siege gunners. More siege, more nest of bees on the back. There's a Treb that's swiftly running away, and the nest of bees, oh, that's a huge hit for him. Janna's got to be really careful he doesn't get flooded by these. 3 nest of bees will really do a massive amount of damage to this infantry. Springalds wiggling their way into the center of the Chinese base. A couple of these infantry units, you want to be seeing them in the granaries, because at the moment that food eco is completely untouched. Janna focusing on the production, which I think is a good call at this stage to stop those reinforcements coming out as well. But 2 or 3 samurai in the back would definitely clean up all those food villagers as well. Treb taken out by the Springalds, and now these buildings very quickly being taken down on the front lines. Villagers being pulled to heal them up. I don't think this is the right call with the infantry around there. Going to take a huge amount of damage, and now the food eco is is idle. That's going to be helping Janna's case. We can see that the villagers are popping into the TCs for defense. The nest of bees catching a huge amount of this infantry. Oh no, look at that. Ooh, those samurai and bannermen are down. Springold's coming out, getting those nest of bees. One taken out, two, and the third one is going to go down. There we go. So all of those Springolds taken out, and the Ozutsu are now onto the next building. How quickly they can take this one out, we can see. So if we go out to the menu now, we've got 53 military units for Janna, 18 for Ye, and while he's got that eco, his food is completely empty now after garrisoning those villagers, and now we're up to 20 down so far, so this is where he's in real trouble. Siege at the back getting caught out by a sneaky little horse raid, but they're not going to be lasting long against the Ozutsu. Wow. 23 Ozutsu versus one horse. I think I know who I'd put my money on. So going for the full landmark snipe at this stage, we can see, there we go, the astronomical clock tower is taken down, and now we've just got the Barbican and we have the TC to go. So these are going to go down very quickly, focusing on that TC first with the 12 villagers in there, 26 idle for Ye. He's still gathering up. He's got some units over here which are idle. They definitely want to be coming in and trying to defend his base at this stage, but I think the writing is very much on the wall as the landmark TC goes down and the Ozutsu are focusing on the Imperial Academy. So two more landmarks, one here, and then there's the Barbican at the back. So all of these guys are going to shift over when they find it and keep doing a huge amount of damage. There we go. So they've pulled around, and let's zoom out and we'll watch as the Ozutsu come in for the final charge into the Barbican, and let's watch that health. Oh my god, look at the carnage. This was a crazy Imperial game, landmark snipe at the end, and I hope you've enjoyed the absolute insanity that we all just witnessed together. We're going to go and do the post-game in a second, and make sure you stick around till the end of the video where I have a recommendation for the next video you need to watch. And here we are, back before GG was called, as the Japanese forces are laying waste to the Chinese base. And I bet yeah isn't saying yeah anymore. Let's take a little look. Let's pause it and bring up the interface so we can take a look at what could have been done in this game. So I think one of the main things for both of these guys is that they were very nervous about using their units. So Janna had a huge force of almost 100 units sitting here before he came in for the attack. And he was in the Imperial Age for probably about 10 minutes. Once you're in the Imperial Age and you've got those Imperial units, you definitely want to be using them, even if you're just raiding a little bit. There were lots of exposed resources out here. There's obviously lots of villagers up at the top, some on this gold mine over here. So using those units also in castle, as soon as those mounted samurai come out, you want to be finding damage. And he didn't wall up. So coming out here, round the back, and you could have got under all of these farms. The Barbican only covering a couple. You could basically sit here and beat all of these villagers down, no problem, to your heart's content. Yeah, went for 3 TC. Not sure why you'd need to do that in this case, but for the majority of the game, he wasn't producing from all of those TCs, which means you're not getting the bonus from having them. So if you're going to go for TCs, you need to be making sure you're producing from them. So you also, a good thing to remember, I would make sure that you've got your hotkeys set up. So for example, if I press H, that will cycle through, I'm on Janna's view, here we go. So that will cycle through the 3 TCs. You can see I'm switching between them, but I have select all TCs on the button that's on the left of number 1. And so then you can see here that you select all 3. So if you're going to go multi-TCs, I think it's always a good idea to have your select all hotkey set up, unless you're really good at switching between the TCs and rallying them up individually. If we take a little look at Janna's base, I think it was very, very exposed. So I think Ye did a really good job of walling in. So he walled off very early down here. He also stonewalled at the bottom, but would palisaded in the middle. Not sure why we'd do that, but okay. He definitely could have done with a wall on this side, even literally just here. So it forces all those units under the TC and under the Barbican, but some walling from both players definitely would have helped. There were defensive keeps, but against the Ozutsu or against massive Chinese units or Chinese siege, that also wouldn't have really done the trick. On Janna's side, he was getting raided mercilessly by palace guards, so definitely, as I mentioned, I would have walled in a safe little wall here, and then using the resources. So I like to use those as waypoints, so whether I would go, for example, from this wood or be a bit safer from this gold, to this gold, and then you can also go from the gold around here to the stone, and then I would literally probably just wall straight across the front there, just to seal off the whole base so no units are running in, because as we saw from the villager kills, these numbers for Janna are going to be going up as he does his final kill, but 40 villagers down over that game definitely hurt his eco significantly. Also making sure that once you get to Castle Age, you get all of your upgrades. You can see here that Janna has got these, but if we take a look at the Forge, we can see there's still a lot of these techs to be got. Military Academy is one of the ones you definitely want to be having when you're at this stage, because you can replenish your units much more quickly. Neither player are at 200 pop yet, so these numbers should have been increasing like absolute crazy. So more production, I would say, on this side as well. I would say dropping earlier farms down as well to go along with the daimyo bonus would definitely have helped the food eco and meant that we didn't have to go on these super exposed resources as well. I'm not a fan of the proxy base, that's personally just me. I think sticking all this production in a spot that's quite easy to take out, even with the Imperial Castle, which are very strong, I still think doing that and also putting Yorishiro here, I don't see why you wouldn't just put it with the rest of your base, because for this amount of distance, you can almost see it. There we go. Just for this distance, I don't see the value of having it exposed compared to here where it's right next to your base and you can just rally all of your units to one place. If we take a look at Yair's base, he does have a decent farm transition. I think he probably needs a few more farms, like a full row along the back here. And also I would be deleting these production buildings once all those taxes are collected to drop down even more farms. But he's got a load of space at the back. Personally, I think actually this spot would have been better for his granaries, because then it's really hard to get to, and if he's stone-walled up across here, then it would have actually been really, really difficult for Janna to get in and idle his food eco. I would say going for the Chuganu and staying making Chuganu in the Castle Age, yeah, that was really not the best decision, because once you've got armoured units, the Chuganu don't really do very well. Unfortunately for Janna, because those mounted samurai didn't get in to do damage, crossbows came in before he was able to really pack a punch, but those mounted samurai would easily be able to run under the TC and even a little bit under the Barbican and be able to idle all of that food eco. So I think a little less of the full mass up of 100 plus units, as much fun as I love seeing all of those Azutsu, 23 Azutsu firing on one horse is a real spectacle to admire. But I think scouting out these external resources and remembering to even just take one mounted samurai and just, for example, if we go to Janna's vision, if we switch over to his, here we go. So let's do this. So, and I can't see the resources now. Perfect. There we go. So if you, for example, I would just get one of them and just literally shift attack move round to all the resources here, shift attack move around the resources here, and eventually you'll find a building, a tower, a person, a something, and that will then give you a clue, because some of these units could actually be running around, not the Azutsu, but some of these guys could actually be down here disrupting this while the main fight's going on, or you could rally your reinforcements out there as well, because you've got all this production that should be printing out tons of units. But a huge amount of gold in the bank for Yair, and it doesn't look like he's got a university. If we have a look, only a blacksmith. He does have all of his Castle Age techs, but he's not in Imperial Age yet, and that's where he's in real trouble, because Imperial units against Castle units with Azutsu to back up is really difficult to stop. But an action-packed game. I love this big final fight, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. Check out the cards above where you can find the next video that I've recommended for you, so you can keep enjoying all of this Age of Empires action. And I will see you next time for some more ladder mayhem.